doing?
I told them about your special day, so I tried to make a little subtle thing so they would know when to cheer.
My special day?
Yes.
When is it?
It's Friday!
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Today's a special day.
I thought you said you like Fridays.
I love Fridays.
Just Friday.
These guys are wild. These
They
guys
are.
are ridiculous. Right. I'm going to grab my little seat down here, get a little bit closer. We got Joey here. We got Laurence here. They're going to be walking around. If you guys have got any questions, just pop a hand up. And you guys, again, anything is fair game. 100% free of charge. Unless you ask me about my money, then I'm going to make you charge me, okay? Yeah. So, with that being said, you guys start off with something easy, and then I will make sure you guys get the correct answer, because if you ask anything hard, I may get the wrong one. So, oh, hi, Joe. Thank you for my water. They're going to walk around. They've got a microphone. They've got a loud voice. Just feel free to bellow out, okay? No need to be formal. They're all family here. As you guys can see, we're going with a natural look today. I put it on at 9:55. I was on stage at 10 o'clock. Yes, good morning, my cruising duck man. What's your name? Where are you from?
Ashley from Liberty, Texas.
Ashley from Liberty, Texas, here with Cruising Ducks as a daughter's foundation for raising money for St. Jude's. What's going on, Ashley?
I have a question that I've heard a lot of people ask. Why is there not that many Americans on the ship?
Why is there not that many Americans on board a ship? Well, everyone take a deep breath in, because I'm going to deliver some honesty here. They don't want to work that hard. We crew members work very long hours, and it's not that we don't have people that are applying. We have people apply that are from America all the time, for sure. But then when they say, right, you're going to be working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week for 6 months with no breaks, no days off, no nothing, they say, peace. They don't want to do it, and that's fair enough. The money's there, the time is there, the opportunity is there. We just don't have a lot of them come on board, because they don't, a lot of them didn't even know about it. I didn't know about this opportunity. I cruised as a guest for years. And when I went to college, I was like, what am I going to do? Communication, journalism, I don't know. And my best friend's cousin had just graduated, and he was like, oh, I'm going to work on a cruise ship. And I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm going to work on a cruise ship. I was like, but you just graduated college. Isn't that something you do like in high school? And he's like, no, I got a degree, and now I'm going to go be a cruise director. And I was like, you can do that. So first day, honest word, first day changed my degree, was like, right, I'll be a cruise director, and then 5 years later I was. Boom, bam, done. But people don't know about it a lot of times. They don't think about it as a job opportunity. When they do find out about it, they may be interested, but a lot of people you find from America will be in entertainment, or they'll be in camp staff, or they'll be a musician or a dancer or something of that nature. There's just a very, very unique set of skills you need to be a bartender or a dining room team or a room steward, and those unique set of skills are patience and being able to close your mouth. And as Americans, we know that is not our strong suit. We know ourselves, and that's okay, because that's why I have a microphone and I have a foot, so sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. And so we have to be very careful. But yeah, so there are Americans around the ship. I've never seen an American work in any other department other than entertainment or guest services. Guest services. Now you gotta have a little fighting edge to you in guest services. And so as Americans, we can do that right. Y'all know. So yeah, I've only seen them in those two departments. I've never seen them work anywhere else on the ship. I don't know. If you want a job, just apply. You just gotta be ready to work. All right?
I can honestly say this, you're the best cruise director.
Stop it, Ashley. I'll pay you later. Thank you. Did you get the big check? You have the big check. Okay, make sure you bring it today. We're going to be some photo opportunities today. All right, we got down here, Coach. Coach has been sailing with us for 2 weeks now. What's going on, big man?
All right, so these questions actually...
You brought a book. Oh, no.
There's only 3 here.
Oh, 3? Okay. Well, everyone else just order a drink. Here we go.
They kind of piggyback off one another, and you actually touched on it a little bit. But we talked about this briefly. Your timeline.
Can we get a mic on him? Joseph, can we get a mic on this man?
I've seen him speak loud.
I thought I was speaking loud enough, but your timeline from when you started to love cruising, and then the moment the light bulb went off and you said, hey, I want to be a cruise director. When did that whole process start for you? Were you a child and you just fell in love with cruising? Were you in high school, college? When did it all click?
I started cruising when I was 7 years old. Florence, once the PowerPoint gets up, I'll show you the cute picture. Whenever I started cruising, I was 7 years old on the Carnival Fascination years and years and years ago. And I cruised for my family. We kind of figured out what cruising was. We stopped taking other vacations. And pretty much every single time we went on vacation, it was on a cruise ship. Every summer was a cruise. Every Christmas it was a cruise. It was one of those things that became like religion to us. Not only did we start with our family of 4, it grew and grew and grew to like our entire family reunions. People from everywhere were coming to the family cruises. We were the ones with the tacky t-shirts. We had tacky matching t-shirts. When my brother turned 18, his shirt said, "There's nothing minor about this package." You want to know where he found that slogan? At Rick's Cabaret. Anyways, moving right along. We found that out, so I was always cruising anyways, and then I went to college, like I said, for journalism and communication, and when I got there, I met the gentleman saying that he was going for cruising, and I immediately, the light bulb switched at that moment. It was the day I was down in College Station for my new student conference, the NCS. New student conference, and we were supposed to be registering for all of our classes, kind of making our declaration of what our major was going to be, and I went out with my friend and her brother, her cousin, and we went out drinking, of course. I was 21, of course. And we went out to his bar, and he was going to work on Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I was like, "How are you doing that?" And he was like, "I'm doing it because I was a tourism management major." And I was like, "What?" Light bulb. He said, "Yeah, I was a recreation, park, and tourism sciences study, RPTS." And I was like, "That's amazing." I was like, "What's it like?" He's like, "It's great, rather party than study." And so the next day I went to go register my classes. I changed my major from journalism and communication into tourism management. And then I was dead set then on from being, at that moment, literally the first day that I was like, "Right, I'll be in tourism management. I'm gonna work on a cruise ship and I'm gonna be a cruise director." That was in 2013. I got the gig of working on ships when I was an intern in 2016, the inaugural internship program. We were the first of the guinea pigs out there. There was 13 of us on across 9 ships in 2016 for 3 months. I was on the Freedom. Anyone ever cruise on the Freedom? Yeah. With Malcolm Woohoo Burns. And I saw then firsthand what it was like to work on ships. And it was absolutely everything I wanted and more. And I knew right then that I was going to be a cruise director. 100% just kind of like reiterated that I wanted to do it. And then it was 2016. I graduated in this December of 2016 from college, and I came back in January. Did a whole year on ships as a fun squad. You guys know a fun squad all around the room. Oh, thank you, LeBron 6. Speaking of my fun squad, so darn good. And then it was 2018 when I got the promotion. So from 2013 to 2018, that's 5 years, right? Yeah, so I got the promotion in 2018. So it's 5 years from the moment that I said, "This is what I'm going to do," to the moment that I was on stage doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh no. Maybe I should turn the clicker on. See, look at how cute I was. I'm so cute. I still look the same. I just have more teeth. That's Bulgaro. We did this big 2-week-long vacation with my family where we went camping. 1,000 trails, any 1,000 trails folks in the house? Larry and Dan, I knew it. We took this big 2-week-long camping trip down. We stopped at every single camping place down to Florida. We did a 3-day cruise in the Fascination, and the addiction was born, right? And so then we did them all. And look at them now. Look at the family now. That was when I was cruise director on the Vista in 2019 with my family. Look at my mom, we look the same. What's even scarier is how much I look like my mom here. That's so scary. She is 30 in that picture, and I look like that now, and I am not 30. So we need to slow it down with the time frame. But what was the follow-up question? I hope that was covering everything.
These kind of mash together so you can kind of knock them out. So I asked, you certainly brought the fun seemingly even more than when you first became a cruise director. What's allowed you to become even better? Things you've learned along the way in the process, and then the kind of mash together. Being the most recognized person on the ship and leading the fun, how much pressure is there on you and your team to ensure everyone is having their best vacation?
Well, you hit me with the hard questions this morning. I appreciate it. I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll put my armor on. I would say being the face of the fun is more a facade than anything else. The team on the ship, from the fun squad to the cast, everyone kind of comes all together, and I am purely the mouthpiece, as you say, right? So the pressure is there because it's people come to you in regards to anything entertainment, and that's I think where the biggest pressure comes from. You want to make sure that your team is delivering, even if it's not directly under your umbrella. But I would say that it's nothing super unbearable in that from whenever I first became a cruise director, I've learned so much because I originally thought it was right. You are the face of fun, you are the mouthpiece, you are the one that's going to run the entire show, and that's just not the case. I got a phenomenal team here with me on the Vista. I was on the Conquest before, I was on the Breeze before that, and on every single ship, and on every single contract, I learned more about what it was to be a manager and how to be able to really run the ship without having to run the ship. You know what I'm saying? Managers learn how to delegate. So yeah, I couldn't do this job without the team I got. The Fun Squad alone, they are like my legs. They've got me in every single place. So whenever they're there, it's a little piece of me. So if you guys have seen them around, they have done more than enough to make this experience amazing. And so they're a large part of the team. I would say that my favorite thing about being on the ship and being able to be in every place is that notoriety that you're saying. It comes from being available and approachable. And so if I've made myself available and approachable to you, then it's not so much, oh my God, she's Kyndall Fire. It's, oh, this is Kyndall Fire and I can talk to her. I never want to seem unattainable or unreachable, which is one of my biggest things. Being the same on stage that I am off stage. So hopefully that's come across to you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm going to be Miss America next week. What's going on, little man?
Is Kyndall Fire your legal name?
Is Kyndall Fire my legal name? That's a big word for a young man. Kyndall Fire is not my legal name. It is a stage name. Do not tell my mom I have a stage name. She will kill me. My real last name, my legal name is Magyar, M-A-G-Y-R. It actually means Hungarian in Hungarian. Yes, I am a Hungarian princess. Thank you for asking. Thank you for noticing. Someone give me a tiara. No, we went to Hungary last 2 years ago. It was amazing. Everywhere, Magyar, everything. I felt very special until everyone was like, everyone's name is Magyar. And I was like, oh, good to know. I was trying to find a thing about being, like you said, being noticeable, like finding your niche and finding who you are and how you can stand out and be memorable. And so I played with my name for a long time because, as you can see, my name is spelled Kyndall, not K-E. And so everyone was like, how do I spell your name? They couldn't spell it right. They couldn't ever like, is it Kyndall? And I was like, no, it's just normal. Just say it normal. And so I, for a long time, was like, my name's Kyndall with a Y, because why not? Come to my events, because why not? Do this, because why not? And that was a mouthful for people to type, right? They're like, oh, Kyndall with letters on her name, and she was great by. And so then it was like, okay, well, I'll play with something else. And so then I was K-Dog, and then I was Kyndall Fire. It came out one day, I was on morning show with Reverend Dr. E. Anyone know Dr. E? Yes, ma'am. You and Joseph, I know y'all know him. Anyways, so Dr. E was talking to me, and we were talking, he was like, oh goodness, Kyndall Fire. And it was like, the phoenix was born. I rose from the ashes, and I was like, I am Kyndall Fire. And from there, the brand kind of grew, and the character build, and the person that I was, that I always have been that loud, obnoxious human. It was Kyndall Fire in me all along. So that's how the name came about. It is not my legal name, but I am working on changing it. And I have to fight Amazon, so don't tell anybody. They're looking for me. It's spelled completely different. I am not a tablet, but if you swipe right, I will like it. Okay, who's got a question? There was a question. Oh, we'll go with this one right here.
So you mentioned your boyfriend a few times. Is he on the ship or is he back at home?
Are you asking about my personal life, man? She's asking about my boyfriend.
You said it was all.
I know it is fair. I told you it's fair game. And I wait till the last day to tell you this because otherwise it's going to shock and awe you. You're going to be like, I wish I knew all week. My boyfriend is on board. He is. He's on here. We met on ships 3 years ago on the Carnival Horizon. He is closer than you think. He is. He's here on board. It's Ed! Don't forget that! It's Ed right there! Do y'all want to know who it is? Yes. It's Putu. I kid. He is about 5'8". He's from England. He has a beard. He thinks he's hilarious.
Joey.
He is hilarious.
Joey.
Yeah, he is hilarious. He is so funny. It's Joey.
Yeah. Joey.
Is that applause for me or for her? Who's that for?
That's applause for you, my love. We're clapping for you.
Joey, the fake accent really worked, right?
Yeah, it works a treat. I recommend everyone puts on an English accent.
Hey, where are you from?
Alabama.
Listen, you are not in Alabama. You can't even say y'all.
Y'all.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I went on the horizon a long time ago. 3 years, we were both fun squad. It was very, Havana nights running around like children. Fell in love in the heart of the horizon, and then we had our very first day, which was Cucina del Capitan. Very cute. And our second date was Santorini.
I paid for both dates.
Needless to say, I kept him. So he's here. We're very, very blessed and lucky to be able to work on the same ship. And they do a really good job with Carnival of making sure that people that are in relationships, that are in longer than 5-minute relationships, because I promise you, those happen on board. Oh my God, I love you so much, let's link. Bam, I broke up with them next week. Don't do that. But yeah, no, they do a really, really great job of making sure that people that are in a relationship, a serious relationship, are, put on the same ships together, have the same opportunities, or be on ships that dock together frequently so they can see each other. The company does a really, really great job of taking care of us for sure. So we're very lucky. Right, Joey? We're very lucky.
Yes, we're very lucky.
You are very lucky. I love you. All right, let's let this gentleman right over here.
So you both work here. What if you don't work here? Can you bring your spouse, your significant other?
So since we both work here, obviously he lives here, I live here, ta-da, easy life. But if I worked here and Joey didn't work for cruise ships, could he come and visit? Absolutely. So we're actually able to get family and friends discounts. Who's my family and friend now? Remember that in your review, y'all. So family and friends discounts, you guys, they can actually come on board and they can sail with you. You can see them. They get to go into like their crew areas and their crew family, so you can come on and do that. You can't stay, I think the longest you're able to stay on board if you're a crew family for consecutive voyages is something like 12 voyages, which is 3 months. Can't do math. 3 months. So you can come on and stay for 3 months in a cabin. Obviously you pay for it the entire time, unless you are a senior officer, which I am. Yeah, I have a window now, y'all. It's a big deal. It's a big upgrade from the bunk beds. And so if you're a single occupancy cabin, even if it's like a twin bed, if you're a single occupancy cabin and no one else lives with you, you don't bunk beds or anything like that, you can actually have them stay in your cabin for $7.
That's not bad.
I don't actually know. The prices may have gone up. But yeah, so we get a wonderful discount. That way they can make sure the families stay together. I know senior officers that are from Italy, they'll have their family come on board and stay in their cabin because they've got a lot bigger cabins than I do. I have a bathtub, and that's where my guests sleep whenever they come over. I sleep in the closet, and they sleep in the bathtub. But yeah, so my brother is going to come a little bit later on down the road, and he's going to sleep on the couch in my living room. It's also my office. So all the people will be coming in, he'll be sleeping on the couch and they'll just be sitting on him. So it'll be what it is. But yeah, they come and visit us. We've got friends and family, and it's a really good system. So we're happy about it. Good question. Yes, Miss Diane.
How often do you change ships, or do you get bored doing the same one over and over?
How often do we change ships, and do I get bored doing the same one over and over and over and over again? No, because the paycheck is the same and same and same and same and same and same. The job itself is very repetitive, but I mean any job is, right? You get up, you go to work, you clock in, you do this. You go home, you go to sleep, you rub your feet, you go to sleep. But on ships, no one rubs your feet. You get up, you do the same thing over and over again. Every day is different, but then the week starts over again and it cycles. So because you're only doing it once every 7 days, I think the repetitiveness is kind of ebbed out. It's not so mundane, right? You're not just sitting behind a computer and typing like an accountant. So I think that keeps me kind of on my toes. And typically the itinerary changes, so you're also going to different ports. There's different things to do in each port. There's different things to see in each port. And we are able to get off in the ports of call too, so that helps. And changing ships, as far as that goes, we're usually on contract for about 6 months at a time on a ship. The longest contract you can do consecutively is a 9-month contract. Never would I ever. You are crazy if you think I'm getting on board for 9 months. You go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So 6 months is typically the one that you do. I'm gonna let you in on a secret though, Diane. In 5 years with the company, I have never done a full 6-month contract. do not tell anyone because everyone else has to do 6-month contracts and they've done many of them. And I don't know how I've squeaked by every time just doing like 3 months here, 4 months here. The longest one I did was 5 months. I was like, hi, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Yeah, I did 3 months on the Conquest as an intern, then I popped over the Freedom, and then the Conquest for however long, I think it's 4 months, and then I was on the Vista for 4 months, and then I got to the inaugural startup for Horizon. I was there for 5 months, very twitchy at the end, very twitchy. Then I did the covers as a cruise director in 18 whenever I got the promotion, and whenever you get the promotion as cruise director, you don't just go straight to a ship and become a core cruise director. Does anyone know, or am I talking these terms y'all don't know? Does anyone know what a core cruise director is?
Oh, I think I do.
Let me explain. A core cruise director is someone that is basically assigned to a ship and that is their ship. They go back there time and time and time again. Like this used to be Matt's ship. He was core cruise director, that's why he was always here. The only time you're not here is when you're on vacation, but you always come back. But whenever you're like they call it rotating, like a rotating cruise director, so you're the one that goes in and covers all the vacations and you kind of pop around. So I was on a rotating cruise director schedule where I would go from ship to ship wherever they needed me. Someone had to go for a week, someone was on vacation for 2 months, and I popped around. And that was so instrumental in like getting me where I am now, because within 1 year being cruise director, I covered on 6 different ships, 4 different classes. So I was able to get very, very familiar with how each ship worked, the demographic of each ship, the demographic of the ports of call, the way that the ship ran, that itineraries that they had, the ports of call we were advertising, the events we had on the ship. There was a lot that goes into each ship and making each ship unique. So it's a unique experience every time you go on a different one. But so no, I wouldn't say I ever got very bored. I don't know if I'm going to be crew or core cruise director here. I know that I'm here now, and I don't have a sign-off date. As of now, my sign-off date is 7/7 of 7/7 of 7777. So I'm going to be a part of the staircase in a minute. But yeah, I don't usually get bored. I really do. It's so gross. I'm such a cheese ball, but I love my job so much that I could do the same thing every day, and I would be very happy to stick around. So yeah, good question, Miss Diane. Probably got a whole mouthful more than you thought you would. And what's going on?
I got 2 questions. One of them is how do y'all remember people's names all the time?
How to remember your name?
Yeah, and the next question would be, on all the ships I've been on, this beanbag toss is one of the favorites. Why is that no longer?
You brought up the B word, Ed. Why are you doing this to me? There's a man filming me. Why are you doing this to me? Ed had 2 questions. First one is how to remember everyone's name. Easy. That's Ed. That right there, that's Coach. That's Diane. That's Larry. That's Joey. Oh my gosh, and it's Perry's wife. Hi, my love. Where's Perry? He's asleep. That boy been drinking again. I don't know. I think whenever I always made a rule of thumb when I meet somebody that I say their name right away. So, what's your name, my dear?
Natalie.
Hi, Natalie. Nice to meet you. And so I immediately just, as soon as I say it and I process it, because a lot of times when people introduce themselves, you get too busy saying, right, my name is Kyndall. Remember, your name is Kyndall. Your name is Kyndall. Don't forget your name. And you don't process that. So as long as you process their name immediately, it's a lot easier than you think it is.
Well, I have a hard time remembering my own.
You got a hard time remembering your own name, and that seems like a personal problem. Maybe don't become a cruise director. I don't know. It's just one of those weird things you pick up in the hospitality industry that you just kind of, it's almost like a photographic memory. When you see them, you remember their name, or you coordinate it with something that you saw them at, right? That's Ed from Harry Chess. Harry Chess, this, and that's his wife. That is Trudy. That's Trudy next to you right there. And so it's just one of those things that you kind of, you make the correlation, and I don't actually have a reason or a rhyme to it. That's just kind of how I do it. And then he brought up cornhole. Oh, Lord, I knew it. Whenever we came out of Texas, and they were like, we aren't going to have beanbag toss. I was like, shut up. I sat in my cabin. I was like, I can't do it. I got to go home. These people are going to kill me. Because the multi-contact, and because we want to make sure that we're doing as much as we can with health and safety and following the protocols and following CDC guidelines, not only following CDC guidelines, but also the guidelines the company has put in place, not just because CDC said so, but because of the best interest of the company to make sure that we don't close down, going above and beyond. We want to make sure that we are taking every precaution. And I know that it seems silly because you're touching the same buttons in the elevator, you're touching the same handrails. There are certain things that we can monitor and that we can clean and sanitize on the hour, every hour, and then there's things that we can't. And that was one of those things that, as great of an experience it is for you guys, it wasn't something that was going to impact every single person on the ship if we made sure that it was out. It's not gone forever. It will come back, no doubt. I can not tell you how many times I've already heard about beanbag toss, and I've told them they need to get some like polyester ones you could just stick in the washer and pull out again. They're coming back. It's just we have to find the right way with the protocols, with health and safety, or to monitor it, because we can't have someone just standing outside watching the beanbag boards all day long. Come on now, y'all, that would be ridiculous. Imagine being on beanbag duty. Oh, I gotta wash them. Right? She just put them in plastic. Do you think that they would stick to the board then, or would they just slide off? You know Cornell, man. The hangers are the best part, and they gotta have that grip. They gotta have that dirt. You can't have a plastic bean bag, come on. But yeah, so that's why, as of now, we don't have them in place. They will be coming back once they kind of, and like I said, we're doing 3 weeks, and we're doing really, really good with all the health and safety protocols. Hopefully the experience hasn't been too different, right?
No.
Pretty normal, like getting on and off the ship with a mask. In the ports of call, obviously we're following local health and safety protocols with masks on. That's kind of the big changes that I can feel. I know there's certain parts of the program we've had to take out, but for the most part, to me especially, it doesn't feel too altered for what y'all's experience would be. So I hope that you guys have had a great cruise, even without the cornhole in.
Makes sense anyway.
Makes sense, at least it makes sense. Because there's a lot of things we do that sometimes don't make sense. Let's take a question over here. Anybody got a question on this side of the room? The young lady in the back. Yes, ma'am. What's your name? Where are you from? Yes, ma'am.
Michelle, I'm from Texas.
Michelle from Texas. What's going on, baby?
I want to know how you determine what beer is on board and why there's no Michelob Ultra.
Girl, let me tell you. I am upset.
It's terrible.
I am upset. Joey, just because you don't like good American beer does not mean you need to slag off Michelob Ultra. It is 95 calories of deliciousness. It's 95 calories of something good. Listen, now I'm heated, so calm me down. Listen, we used to have Michelob Ultra, and so I don't really know what happened between the pandemic and now that we no longer carry it. It may be a matter of we can't get our hands on it because Texans keep drinking it like it's water. Because let me tell you, during the pandemic when I was at home, my second name was Michelob. I was Kyndall Michelob Ultra. Hello, how you doing? I don't know, I don't truly know why it is. There's some bars that have it, there's some bars that don't, but the way that we choose the beers is way above my pay grade. We've got like Coors, we've got Miller, we've got Bud, and we've also got our onboard brewed beers as well in the Red Frog pub there, they're brewed there. It's excellent, is it? Like the Thirsty Frog, the Hoppin' IPA, the Caribbean Wheat. Ooh, so nice. And they've also got the Arabica bean one, which is like a coffee something or another. So they got those, so they kind of rotate through in and out, but how we choose which ones we have on board, I couldn't actually tell you because I don't want to give you the wrong answer and act like I know what I'm talking about, because usually I do that, and then I put that foot back in the mouth. So we did have it. I hope it's coming back. I hope it's just a matter that we can't get a hold of it because all the Texans have bogarted it, like the toilet paper. One day I'm gonna get a 6-pack of Michelob, and I'm gonna cheers to you. Cheers to you. All right, Lawrence, who do you got over there?
This is Kathy.
Hey, Kelly.
My question is, what are some of the wildest and craziest things you've seen on a passenger?
Not including Joey.
Hello, Joey.
Y'all want the tea. You want the tea. Listen, I'm not going to tell you anything that happened this week because they could be on board, right? They could be in this room. But last week, no, they weren't actually that ridiculous. They were a little bit on the spot. They were calm. They were cool, collected. I would say over the 5 years, like crazy things that passengers have done. God, what haven't they done? You get people that walk around in robes all week. You get people that walk around with ladies' shirts on. You get people that come upstairs to the hairy chest contest and they shave in your name in their chest hair. K Fire. He took his shirt off. K Fire.
Is that why that got canceled?
Yeah, I would say probably hairy chest is when some of the craziest stuff happens. Like there was one shaved that too. People shave like all sorts of things in their back hair. We got gorillas that are coming out. But the one guy that came out to Harry Chess, he came out and he like took his shirt off and he had like 4 patches of wax strips on him. And he was outside and it was hot and he was prepared. He was too prepared and he put the wax on too early and it dried like cement. So it was his turn. I was like, come on. He's like, I'm Bucky. I'm from Texas. I can do anything. I don't feel pain. So he goes and has this little dance up the walkway and he went to go rip them off and it was just like pure skin. He was like, and so he had to go to the medical center to get them to help get it off. He lost. He didn't win the challenge, but everyone knew him. They were like, oh, Bucky, you don't feel no pain. So you see all sorts of ridiculous stuff like that. We've luckily, knock on wood, I don't have anyone up here, but luckily I've never had anything ridiculous like someone going and being silly and falling off the ship or taking a swan dive off the back. None of that's ever happened to me. Do not get any ideas today. I've got a clean bill of health and a clean record. Do not start this today. There was a time though where we woke up at like 4:30 a.m. on embarkation day, right? Everyone's getting up. Everyone's like, I don't want to get 4:30, but some people are early. I get up at 5 o'clock on embarkation day. So an announcement comes in from the bridge at 4:30 in the morning. Ashley Hammonds, come to the guest services desk. Thank you. I use my mother's maiden last name because I'm not allowed to actually tell you her real last name. So if you look her up on Facebook, that's not really her. Ashley was running around. We couldn't find her, and no one could find her. And the last time they had seen her was at like 5:30 the day before. So everyone's like, okay, where'd she go? And they make this announcement at 4:30. 15 minutes, another announcement. Ashley, come to the guest services desk. 5 o'clock, I'm awake. I'm like, what is happening? Someone find this woman because I'm gonna go back to sleep. Ashley, come to the guest services desk. Still nothing. After a certain amount of time, security has to get involved. Security goes around the ship. They're checking all the venues. They're checking security cameras. And by this point, it's going every 5 minutes. Ashley. Now everyone on embarkation day is up at 6 a.m. irritated, looking for Ashley, right? They're at the game, they're like, get me off this ship because I'm gonna find Ashley, all right? And so we were like, at this point, you're worried, you're concerned. People are upset, obviously, but they're concerned, like, oh my gosh, like, you haven't seen her since yesterday. Are we gotta go back out? We gotta find her? Turns out Ashley met a gentleman in the nightclub on the last night of the cruise. Ashley was very ashamed. Her parents were at guest services looking for her. So she hid in the shower for 3 hours. And finally, they found it all on the security camera. They went to the cabin. The guy was like, nope, she's not in here. And they're like, we have to come in and search. You were the last person seen with her. Either you threw her off the balcony or she's in this cabin. So they went in and she was sat in the bathroom like. So everyone came down to the gangway and I was like, we found Ashley! And then everyone posted on my Facebook page the rest of that day. They made t-shirts, #where's Ashley? She was all right. Her family was not nearly as happy as she was. So that's one of the crazier things we've seen. People just running around acting like fools. So yeah, there's always a good story to tell. Always a good time. I'll tell you one later about the casino. Yes, what's going on, my love?
I was just wondering, who is your boss?
Who is my boss?
Are you the boss of the ship?
Am I the boss of the ship? Yes, me and the captain. We run the whole ship. We run the ship. No, everyone's got a boss, right? As the cruise director, we work hand in hand with the entertainment director. So if anyone would be my boss, Sue would be the one that is overseeing everything I do. I oversee my team, and then I oversee like all the guest interactions, whereas she runs all the programming and like the scheduling of the department. So I would say Sue's the closest I have to a manager on board, but we are very much a cohesive relationship that works hand in hand rather than her telling you what to do. Now, there are some ships in some places where it is more a direct report like that on ships, on carnival ships, but I'm very, very lucky to have Sue on board because she actually was the person that mentored me when I was an intern on the Freedom. I came on board and I was dyed and bushy tailed and I was like, where do I go? Where's the bar? Someone give me a Michelob Ultra. And she like picked me up out of the dirt by the scruff of my neck. She was like, child, let me show you something. And she taught me everything I know. And then we hadn't seen each other or worked together for years. And then we're on the horizon together. And then she got promoted to entertainment director, and at the beginning of the contract. And at the end of the contract, I got promoted to cruise director. And again, different circles, never got each other. And then when the pandemic happened, they were like, your entertainment director's gonna be Sue. Cried, tears, upset. Called Sue. I was like, Mama Sue, we're going home. And she was like, baby, I'm gonna take care of you. And it's been such an absolute blessing to have her. I don't know, Sue, are you here? No, she's probably still asleep while she's working because she worked. Mama! Mama! You guys want to say hi to Sue, the entertainment director. Hi, Mama. Doesn't make you emotional talking about it. I did a tear in my eye because then I also helped Alejandro, her husband now, help her get engaged. He was in a Latin band, the Havana Boys. He's from Peru, he's Peruvian. Now she's a South African Peruvian, and her name is 10 times as long as it used to be. And he wrote her a song. And you know, the Havana guys, they sing in the show. And so she was on vacation because she'd been promoted. So she came back to cruise with him, circling back to your question. And he was like, oh, we're doing rehearsals, come in and watch the rehearsals. She was like, no, I'm on vacation, I'm not watching that. So she was like, whatever, Ale, I come to see you. So she came in here, she was sat here, and all of a sudden the whole theater just like lit up. The curtains came back, and he came down the aisle singing this beautiful song in Spanish to her. She is bawling, and then they open the curtains, and all of us walk out and are holding signs spelling out, will you marry me? I am emotional. Anyway, so yeah, it's a beautiful relationship. Joey has to learn to sing Spanish. He has to get a Peruvian passport. And he has to change his name to Alejandro de Farango.
And you need to give me a green card. That's it.
Listen, you are well on your way, sir. You gotta get rid of that fake accent. No, my dad loves the fake accent. He loves to make fun of it all the time, so we can't go. We got 10 more minutes, a couple more questions, and then we're gonna have our demarcation presentation. So no one can go because it is a brand new process. We've changed the entire process, so you cannot go, because otherwise tomorrow you're gonna whine about, I didn't know what was going on and no one told me. Wrong. Stay here. What's your name?
I'm Jordan.
Jordan from where? Spring, Texas, right by Houston. What's going on, baby? What's going on, Jordan?
So since like you're one of those like maroon people, but anyways, so you have like a big personality. Are you in a sorority?
Oh. She said, you're one of those maroon people from Texas A&M. She said, you have a big personality, so you must have been in a sorority. Honey. The people in the sorority do not have a personality big enough to contain in a house like this. I needed a whole cruise ship to contain this personality. Their tiny little mansions on the university ain't got nothing on the Vista. I never rushed. I never did any of that. My mom was devastated. She also let me do pageants, and I was like, no, I will not be your road to financial freedom, Heather. And so I never did that. I went in actually as blend team. So I went in kind of foot in, foot out, because the year that I went, all the smart kids went, right? And I was like, y'all too much, y'all too smart. So I was half and half. It also saved me $20,000 a year on college tuition. Hello. Still have $20,000 to go. I can do this. So I came in and I wasn't actually able to rush my freshman year. And I was like, I was like debating. I was like, nah, I don't need to pay for my friends. So then whenever I actually was fully in A&M my sophomore year, at that point everyone was already in their sororities, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to do that. I invested myself into an organization that actually was going to invest in me. Not that the sororities don't. Y'all invest a lot in sororities. I went into a student leadership organization, which was inspiring and helping sophomores become leaders in the workplace, leaders in organizations, kind of finding their path to business and development. So I did that, and then I became a director of that my junior year, and then my senior year I was actually a part of kind of overseeing it. I ended up stepping away because I was more interested in going on a cruise ship and getting away from my friends. But yeah, so those are the two things that I did organizational-wise for my big personality. But yeah, more than that, I lived in the barracks. Anyone from College Station? I lived in the barracks. party town. And our sorority, our family, our fraternity, if you will, because it's a house of 3 girls here, and they're all townhomes, and then there's another road here. And so we had this cul-de-sac almost, but it was an intersection, so it's not a cul-de-sac at all. And all the people from these houses, all these fellas and all these girls, this whole group on 309 Caps were like a fraternity, a sorority of their own. We had block parties, we had house parties, we had cops called. It was amazing. And yeah, so I never needed to go anywhere because I had all I needed right there. It was a great time. But what did you rush? What are you, a Theta, Delta? Delta Zeta? DZ? She got them anchors on her. No, not like that. You know a DZ, I know what it's talking about. Right, anyways. Yes! What's your name, where you from? Yeah, you.
Beth from Weatherford.
Beth from Weatherford, who has seen the inside of my knee.
This really isn't a question, but I just wanted everybody in here to know, we are blessed that we know her personally. She's very good friends with my daughter-in-law. And this last 15 months, we got to spend a lot of time with Kyndall. And I can tell you from personal experience, this is Kyndall. She does not put on. This is her exact personality, and she's right where she needs to be.
I'm gonna be quiet. When I say that that's seen more of me than y'all should ever see, I'm being serious. Last 4th of July, we were drinking Michelob Ultras on Beth's brand new pontoon boat, and I was swimming in the water in the river, on the Brazos River. If y'all know about the Brazos River, it's brown, it's hot, it's infected, and I decided to swim up to the boat and cut my knee open. And I got on the boat, I said, ooh, I hit my knee. And I got out of the water, and when I stood up, it was just dripping, gushing blood. Bailey passed out in the water. She was like, I'm floating. Bailey's husband, her son, was like, oh, it ain't that bad, it's fine. And I got on the boat, and it's just like, it looks like an eye. My knee was like, wah, wah, wah. Cut open here, I had to get stitches. Beth was like, oh, it's okay, Casey used to get stitches all the time. That's just need a couple, that's a whip stitch, just come on back. So I literally got off the boat, my dad came pick me up, he's like, dang it, Kyndall, I told you not to do this. So he came, picked me up, drove me to the emergency room. They stuck some stitches in me. I said, is it okay if I keep drinking? He said, absolutely. So I went back to the boat. We went out to we went out to Granbury Lake. We watched the fireworks, and I came back in, Michelob Ultras later, still having a good time. Thank you, Beth. I love you. I'll bring Bailey on the cruise for free now. Right, we got time for about 1 or 2 more. What's this man with the 2 hats on him? What is going on?
Do fish get thirsty?
Do fish get thirsty? I mean, I'm a fish. I'm thirsty. I would assume they might. Is this a riddle? No. Is it a real question? I'm impressed with myself that I've put off the illusion that I would know the answer to that question. Do I look like a marine biologist, my handsome man? Fish might get thirsty. They may not. I'm not even 100% sure. But you know what? I do know what the fish said when it hit the wall. Damn! Damn. It's not a cuss word, it's in the Bible, I can say it. Right, you can say something, no, that's not a question for me, that's him saying, honey, get over here, get me a drink at the bar. Yes, sir. Oh, you raised your hand for someone else?
Yeah, he's been raising it for the last 15 years.
Oh, he got his bingo way down.
No, I just wondered, roughly how many people make coming on cruises sort of like their only thing as far as vacations?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many cruises you have to go on to get up to the gold level and the red level from blue?
Oh, he's on the loyalty program.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that cruise their vacations as like their sole vacation. It's like going to an all-inclusive resort that goes to different all-inclusive resorts, right? So it's a really nice kind of all-around thing. That's why my family always did it, because we just got tired of going to Cancun, and it was cheaper this way. And let's be honest, we are a value package, and we have a great time, and we get everything we need right here. So I would say there's a lot of people that probably do that now, especially on Carnival. We breed loyalty here. I don't actually have it off the top of my head from blue to red to gold. I know 75 days at sea is a platinum, and then 150 or 200 days, they may have changed the loyalty program again since the last time I looked at it, is diamond. I think it's 200. Where did Joanne go? Where'd she go? Where'd they go? Where are my diamonds at?
200.
It's 200, thank you. It's 200 days at sea now to become a diamond member. Yeah, so it's days, like days on board and stuff like that. So that is how you change up. And you get different benefits once you guys are those platinum and diamonds. You get priority, you get, you get extra little special gifts, you get certain parties. Remember platinums and diamonds out in the room, make some noise. I'll see y'all today at 5. Don't tell anybody where it is though, because then everyone in here is gonna come.
Sort of a follow-up question then.
Yeah.
The loyalty program?
Yeah.
Do you get any extra benefits if you buy stock in Carnival?
Do you get extra benefits if you buy stock? Lord, I hope so, because I'm buying some soon. Do you don't you get some for
$100 on board.
$100, oh yeah, onboard credit. $100 onboard credit is what Coach is saying. Now, if it's wrong, you quote Coach, you quote his blog, okay? That's right there. Coach, what's your blog?
Coach Cruz on YouTube.
Coach Cruz on YouTube. That's the name you guys gotta come after for your onboard credit if it's wrong. That's him right there.
You gotta have 100 shares though.
You gotta have 100 shares. 100 shares, 100 onboard credit. That makes more sense. But yes, good question. Any other questions? I got time for maybe one more. I want to call you in the balcony. Can you bellow your question down here?
Okay. What would be your favorite day of like the cruise? Like elegant night?
Ooh, that's a really good question. What's my favorite day of the cruise, of the whole cruise, from embarkation, sea day 1, sea day 2, port days, and then last sea day? I would say it's a toss-up between Cozumel Day and last sea day today, because yesterday we got up, we got everyone off the ship, and then we get to go out in the port of Cozumel. Cozumel is like our home away from home. We live there. It's a constant thing. And then also in the evening, we've got America Rocks, we've got playlist shows, and then we've got the 80s Rock and Glow Party. Who was at the 80s Rock and Glow Party last night? Right? It's just so much dang fun, and there's a really great moment at the end where we have that Whitney Houston moment. We get to kind of have a little bit of a tender moment with you guys, and I love those moments where we can be so real and so raw with you guys, which is why it's a toss between yesterday and today, because today again is when we just get to be really, really honest with each other and kind of open the door and take that veil of crew and guests down and kind of get that transparency, because it's the last day, so like you don't know when you're going to see these crew members again, and a lot of you have invested time, and I mean some of you all have invested money in it, and you guys get to know them, and you're going to become family over 7 days. Everything on a ship is so expedited. 1 day on a ship is like a week at home. So 7 days on a ship, you know these people, you know about them, you ask about their families, their kids, where they're from. And so you really take note and you take stock in how, we get along from different countries, how we can manage, how you can learn about somebody else without putting any of your own personal opinions in there. So I think that's the really unique part about ships, which is why I like today, because it happens a lot. You make those connections, you make those friendships, and you make those memories. So it's a toss-up, but that is an excellent question. No one has ever asked me that question before, which is why I don't have a pre-recorded answer. Thank you. Last one. Anyone else want one more? If you guys are just now coming in for the debarkation presentation, come inside. There's some seats up here. You want to sit down. It's going to be a 4-hour presentation. Come in. I'm kidding. It's not going to be more than 30 minutes. It's probably going to be 25 because I talk super fast. So y'all come in, grab yourself a seat. We're getting started in 1 minute time. Last question to this lady right here. Make it a good one, my love. What's a good tip to leave your steward? They're going to love this being the last question. And it's completely up to you, my dear. I know that there's the gratuities that are automatically on your card. My dad's very generous. So I don't want to give you a dollar amount. And this guy, I don't even know. It's completely up to you. There's 7 days of cruise, and you think about how many times of that they clean your room, and think about what you would tip like a room steward, how much you tip like your guy at the dinner table, right? When you go to Chili's and you spend $100, you tip that guy $10, right? He took care of you for 5 minutes. So it's up to you. It's up to your discretion. If you need envelopes, they're there at the guest services desk. I cannot, with good conscience, tell you how much or how little you should tip them, if you want to tip them at all. And it's completely up to you. Anything you give is an appreciated thing. So if you can only give 5, if you can give 50, if you can give 500, every single dollar goes to a very deserving team member first and foremost. But secondly, to a very appreciative team member. So they don't take it and be like, oh, only $5 this cruise. They appreciate anything you can give. So do not feel like, oh my gosh, they're going to think bad of me. They're going to tell us, oh, that's Terry last cruise. Everything is appreciated. So whatever you can give is a good number, okay? And with that being said, we got to wrap up this bad boy. I hope you guys enjoyed our Q&A awesome with myself. And if you guys have got any questions that you guys want to continue to have answered, oh, no, wrong way, Kyndall. You guys can always follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. They're right there. My handle's there. I got a TikTok now. I've never thought I was going to have a TikTok. I withheld myself from it for ages. All through the pandemic, I didn't get a TikTok, and they said, Kyndall, you're going back to the first shift. I was like, dang it, I gotta get a TikTok because people are on there. So if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, it's the same thing, Kyndall Fire. Go and check it out. But we got to get this party started, so I'm going to flip back through here with the right arrows. My family, just keep looking at them. We got a D-Mark talk. Yeah, you